So here we are. I'm about to read another one of my blogs, and this blog is, again, another one of my favorite blogs that I wrote while I had a race. And it's my tribute blog that I wrote to my first team right before team changes in Cambodia. Again, there's Cambodia. Cambodia was a very eventful, emotional month, if you haven't noticed already for me. And as I've talked about before, we switched teams. I transferred from Team Surrendered to Team Squad Draggy Connection, or Team SC. And that team change was really, really difficult for me. Mostly because I had bonded so hard and so fast with my Team Surrendered teammates, and it was really hard for me to let them go. And so, because I had opened myself up to them emotionally, I became more vulnerable with them, and I pretty much let my guard down with them more than I have before in my life with anybody, because I still have that kind of guard up. But if I'm around people and I trust people enough, that I lower that guard, but only to a certain point. Well, with Team Surrendered, I went beyond that point. And so, in the end, I ended up getting hurt. I hurt myself. And so, as a result of that, when team changes happened, and I became a part of what turned out to be Team SC, and this is confession time, but I kind of raised up that guard again, and kind of blocked how much I bonded with them, because I knew that, okay, team changes will probably happen again in a few months, and I don't want to get my heart broken again. So with Team SC, I bonded with them enough, but I didn't fully let my guard down with them the way I did with Team Surrendered. Which I kind of feel bad for them now, because they didn't fully see me, but in the end, I knew that I have to stay at that level of self-protection, self-preservation. Just how, in a way, I've always lived my life that way. Because I know people leave, people move on, you move on. And in the past, I've gotten burned by that. Become really close with people, friends. Life changes happen, we grow apart, and then we don't talk anymore, and we lose that friendship. So, and I also learned that that's part of a type 8 too. Like being emotionally neutral about things. And I understand that why. And it's like once I learned that, I realized, okay, that's where I went wrong with Team Surrendered. So now, with my last two teams, I know how to take care of myself and not let it happen, not get burned by them. But the actually kind of funny thing is that with my last team, it was 4 of the 5 of them I would hang out with at debrief, 3 of them. And so I was already pretty close with them, and I could be myself around them and open up to them. And of course, one of my other teammates on Team Titan was one of my Team Surrendered teammates. So So with that team, that was a whole different so situation because I could be open with them, but also safe because, like with 3 of them, Isaac, Samuel, and Jasmine, like we were always hanging out at debrief together. We would always go on adventures together, debrief, like go out to eat together. So that was like my core. So that was also kind of the opposite. And I mean, yeah, it was tough to say goodbye to them, but I mean, it was also kind of be at the end of the race, so it was all not say goodbye to the team, but say goodbye to the squad. And then the minnow team SC, it was like from day one in Cambodia when we switched teams, like I protected myself and like only let my guard down to a point with them, and then especially towards the end when I knew we would change teams, that's when I backed off because I didn't want to get hurt again, and was kind of more prepared to let them go. And that was also about the time too where my feedback tolerance level was like at maximum capacity. And so as far as like giving feedback or receiving feedback, that was also month 8 was when I just like shut my feedback down. I mean, I still had to take it, but it's like it just bounced off. Like I acknowledged the feedback, I thought about it, but it really didn't impact me. Mostly because I was so tapped out with receiving feedback that I just kind of guarded it, kind of thing. Like someone would give me feedback, I'd say thank you, and then it would just let it slide off my back. I didn't really take it too much of consideration. And I know that sounds bad, but that's the truth. I'll be honest. But yeah, anyways, as I said, here's my open letter called Dear Team Surrender. And hopefully I can do this without starting crying. Anyways, so Dear Team Surrender, where do I even begin? As saying goodbye is not that easy for me to do. And this is definitely one of the hardest goodbyes that I have said to say while out of the race. Keep in mind, this is month 5. From training camp till now, it has been such an awesome journey with you five gals. And it makes me sad to think about our time together as Team Surrender is coming to an end. I remember really meeting each one of you at training camp during final team building exercise, working together and thinking to myself that this was the team that I wanted to be on, for I felt right away a connection with the 5 of you. I remember praying afterwards that if it was the Lord's will, that you 5 would go to be my teammates. And later in the afternoon, when that piece of paper with all of our names on it was handed to me, all I could do was raise my fist in the air and pumped it, for I knew that our team was meant to be a team. And kind of a side note, so the day that we received our teams was the same day that I received the news that for our sleeping arrangements that night at training camp, that it was our time in a community tent. So it was the thought that was going through my mind was literally, here's a new team, congratulations. We are going to shove you into a tent together the first night that you're a team. And I just remember laughing. I'm just like, oh wow, this is gonna be great. And it was. And it wasn't just our team. We also had another team in the tent with us because they were big size tents that could hold like 12 people. So, and that was one of the nights that I also considered going out and sleeping in my car or on the deck of the dining patio, but I didn't. But yeah, another fun story from training camp. Anyways, back to this. Living life with you gals these last 4 months have been some of the best months that I have had in a long time. We have laughed, we have cried, we've had our disagreements, but have always made up afterwards. We have encouraged one another, we protected each other, we have pushed one another, we have supported one another, we took care of each other or whatever. Either of us was feared down or sick. We were there for each other like sisters. As you know, being an only child, I have never had the experience of being a sister. And I have always wondered what that would be like, to live like that. You girls gave me that opportunity to be able to experience that feeling. And what a feeling it was, for it meant the world to me. I will forever be grateful for you guys. Thank you for putting up with me during this time, as I know I am not the easiest person to live with. And the fact that I have such a strong, independent nature, as well as the fact that I have some crazy habits, like being a night owl. You girls taught me so much about myself. Helped me to gain my self-confidence back that I had lost. Taught me to once again believe in myself and kick my butt when I needed it to be kicked, but did so in a loving way. Thank you for showing me that it is okay to show emotions and to express those emotions when needed. I understand that you girls wanted the best for me, and you wanted me to see me called higher, and to grow as both a person and as a Christian. I have learned so much from each one of you too, and I hope that you have learned from me as well. Thank you for teaching me how to live life again, and to gain a new perspective of life, to be free. Thank you for all of the feedback that every one of you gave me every team time. I know that all of the feedback I received from each one of you, both positive and constructive, were given for a reason. And that your intentions were good, and the heart behind it all was pure, and not out of spite. Although I do question that sometimes now. Just saying. I know I should have taken it more graciously in the beginning, but in the end I realized that the reasons you girls gave me the feedback was out of love, and I'm sorry it took me so long to accept that. I have the highest respect for each one of you, which was why giving you girls feedback was hard for me at first. And I know that I want the best for each one of you as well. I love you girls like sisters, and it is amazing that we have become a family in such a short amount of time. Spending Christmas Day with each of you was honestly the best Christmas that I have had in a long time. and that is by far go to be one of my favorite memories from the wood race when our time is finished. Another one of my favorite memories is going to the Maya ruins in Belize. And that was quite the bonded time for us. And I got to share one of my many passions with all of you. These are just some of the many memories that I will cherish from our time together. I will forever remember our time together as teammates. I will always be a fan of all your respective schools. UC, FSU, PSU, A&M, and even UK. All of you have such powerful testimonies and backstories. Don't be afraid to share your story with others, because others might need to hear them too. And it will have an impact on them. Be bold. I have loved hearing each one of your stories, and trusting me by telling me your story. No matter where the seasons may take each of us, I will always remember you all. Know that I will always keep you girls in my prayers. And know that I will always be open to talk if you ever need someone to talk to about whatever life may bring. For I will never be too busy to stay in touch, no matter where God may take me in my own life. In the words of my favorite musical, I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow, if we let them, and we help them in return. But I know who I am today because I knew you. But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made up of what I learned from you. You will be with me like I had put on my heart. I know, and now wherever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. And just to clear the air, I ask for forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. Who can I say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. I hope and pray that our friendship will be with one another will be lifelong. Once again, thank you for the last 4 months. I love you girls so much. Team surrendered forever. I will miss you. P.S. I might have cried while writing this blog, which I did. P.S.S. Shout out to Caitlin for her making the awesome tribute video. And I posted the tribute video on my blog as well as to my YouTube channel. And all the rest of it is just all the photos from all times together, going back to training camp all the way through Vietnam. So from training camp to launch to Belize to Honduras to El Salvador and to Vietnam. And then I also want to read a couple things. How beautiful, Bonds. It was an amazing 4 months. I wish you the best of bonding with your new team. Oh, Bon, how beautiful. I love every word you wrote and your vulnerability in it all. I am so happy that we got to become so close, and I will cherish all our time together and look forward to our future times. Aw, Bonnie, I love you so much. I'm so grateful to have been on a team with you. You've grown so much, and I'm so proud. I love that I could call you my friend and my sister in Christ. So yeah, that is my blog, my Team Surrender blog. And yeah, like, and even and if I'm being honest, like, even almost a year later from all this, I still think about them. I still, I still think about those 5 gals. I still pray for them. Um, you know, I have, a team picture of us on a frame on my desk, as was one of the All Squad pictures. Like, both those pictures is what I use for motivation. Because really, be really to the team, well, not just Team Surrendered, but Team SC and Team Titan as well. I kind of always viewed my role as the protective big sister. So like, whenever we would go out, I would always go with them. Because one, we had a rule that nobody can go out alone, except to the nearest coffee shop if there was one around. But overall, if somebody was going into town, I was always the first to jump up and say, yeah, I'll go with you. And while that was one, to follow the rules, but also it was a personal thing for me because I was a protector. And so it was my way of being that protector, but not make it obvious. And especially in places like El Salvador and Vietnam, like, I would always go with one or two of them, or when the whole squad would go. But yeah, like, I mean, what more can I say? Like, they will always be on my heart because they were my first team. They were there from day 4 or 5 of training camp all the way till February of 2019. And I remember after training camp, I took 2 of my squad mates back to Atlanta. And one of them was one of my teammates. I took her back to the airport. And I remember once I dropped her off. And I was driving to see Stone Mountain, to go and visit that site. I just broke down crying in my car, which is something that never happens to me. Because even in the week or 8 days that we were a team at training camp, like, it immediately had an impact on me. And I could feel that bond forming. And so it actually broke my heart to leave them, even though I knew I was going to see them again in 6 weeks. But still, I cried in my car, which is embarrassing to admit that now, but it's true. And then 6 weeks later, because 4 of us had to report to Atlanta on Friday because we had leadership roles. And then the other two came in on Saturday. But literally when I saw each one of them for lodge, I pretty much ran and hugged them and almost tackled them to the ground. And what's about me is I am not a physical touch person. I am not a hugger. And so for me to do that was actually special because I was so happy and so excited to see them. I'm maybe a little too exuberant because, as I said, I almost tackled them. And I think I literally lifted Lauren up off of the ground now that I think about it. Because I was so excited to see each one of them. But yeah, as I said, they always be on my heart. They are forever tattooed, literally tattooed on me. I have a tattoo on my arm of a cross with the words Surrender inside the cross. And that's kind of, that phrase has so many meanings to me, and that's what I share because that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned the past year, 2 years, whatever, is to surrender all. But also, behind that word, surrender, is also a much deeper personal meaning, and that is my way of a tribute to the 5 of them. Yeah, 5 of them. It's so like, when I tell people the meaning behind it, I'm aware also telling their story as well. And are just like one of the many people that impacted me in this journey. I mean, yeah. So every time I look at it and I see that word, that's one of the things that I think about. Yeah. I miss them. I love them, you know. And then I'm kind of happy that I was with one of them on Team Titan again. That was cool. But yeah, as I kind of talked about before, each one of my 3 teams was so different. And just the dynamic. Like, Team Surrendered, that's probably the closest I've had to a sister-to-sister relationship. And then Team SC and Team Titan, I had saw similar bonds like that too with those 2 teams. But yeah, all I mean, I will never forget any of my teammates, but Team Surrendered will always have that special place in my heart because they were the first. They were the ones that I spent the most time with. I mean, 4 months is a long time to spend with 5 other gals. Because, like, with Team Titan, we only spent 2 months with them. And Team SC, in truth, was really 3 months. So, because I'm not really counting, well, maybe 3.5 months. Because we technically were all a team for half of Cambodia, month 5. So yeah, So 4 months, 3.5 months, and 2 months. Because in Romania, it was also PVT RTV week, so that was a really short month too. So I'm not really counted that month. So, but yeah. So I was with Team Surrendered from training camp through Vietnam, Team SC from half of Cambodia through half of Romania, and then Team Titan I was on Team Titan for the last 2 months of the race, and then we had 3 all squad months mixed in there as well. Month 2, month 5, month 9 were all squad months. And that was a whole other thing too. So yeah. So I was with them the longest. And they had a huge impact on me. And I'm forever grateful for them. And I wish them all the best. And I know that stories from our times will be in my sermons. Like, I'm sure I could come up with a story for every possible sermon. But yeah. I have so many memories. I could talk for 2 hours on this about all the memories I have with Team Surrendered. But yeah. That's it. That's all I can say. Team Surrendered will forever hold a special place in my heart.